Hey, welcome back. I'm Maria Ho, and today we're going to tackle a topic that's been making so much headlines and all over the news, right? So you've heard it. Is the US tariffs in Canada. How is that going to impact our real estate market? Now, this 25% tariff on Canadian goods, on this video, I'm going to break down how this tariff may affect everything from construction costs to materials to mortgage rates, and what all of this would mean for residential home buyers and sellers and investors. I think you're going to find this very interesting and insightful, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this because this is really very much getting so much attention. So drop me a comment or questions below and I'd love to answer you. So let's start with the basics. As many of you guys know, the US has, announced a 25% tariff on Canadian imports, which is now put on hold, for at least a month, hopefully. And then President Trump, he says that this is to address issues, serious issues actually, like illegal immigration or drug trafficking and increase of border security. That's fine, but it is going to also raise a lot of concerns for many sectors, especially industries that rely on exporting and trading with the US. So this may not directly affect right now real estate market yet, but it's going to have a ripple effects and it's going to cause changes in construction costs, interest rates, consumer confidence, and just overall sentiment, right? So first off, how this may affect construction of new homes or even renovations of existing homes by homeowners. So much of our housing market relies on imported materials like lumber, steel, specialized fixtures. And yes, it's true that we have a healthy supply of wood, that's our natural resource, but we still import many things like kitchen cabinets or bath vanities, just as an example. And the 25% tariff on a lot of these products is going to affect builders, contractors. They're going to have higher costs. Now, whether these increased costs are going to be absorbed by the builders, I highly doubt it, or whether they'll be passed on to home purchasers. So we may expect higher home prices as construction costs may increase. So that's one. So we're already seeing, a lot of disruption on supply chain, right? And further delays on construction projects and maybe a slowdown on new homes being built in the market. And we're already facing, an imbalance between supply and demand. These cost increases that may drive home prices even higher. In the short term, we could expect more upward pressure on prices, particularly for newly built homes. Another major factor to consider is the potential impact on interest rates and mortgage rates. And this is where things could get a little bit more complicated. So as we know, the Bank of Canada has cut interest rates multiple times since last year. And with tariffs putting pressure on prices, there's a lot of uncertainty now about what's going to happen next. So let's look at two potential possible scenarios. Scenario number one, further rate cuts. So if the tariffs slow down our Canadian economy and reduce exports, the Bank of Canada might have to continue cutting rates to stimulate economic activity. So this would lower borrowing costs and we could see cheaper mortgages, and that may potentially give buyers a bit of a break. Lower mortgage rates could also boost demand. So even if construction costs are on the rise, it might drive more buyers toward resale properties. That's one scenario. Scenario two is rate holds or increases. So on the flip side, if tariffs drive up prices across the board and then we see inflation, in that case, the Bank of Canada could hold rates steady or even raise the rates in order to keep inflation in check. We've seen that in the past, right? If that happens, mortgage rates could go up, and this would make borrowing more expensive, and that may then slow down the demand for homes, especially for first-time home buyers. And we saw that before, right, in the past 2 years. So how will this all play out for residential buyers, home sellers, and investors in the Greater Toronto area? Well, for residential buyers, if you're in the market for a home, affordability is going to be the top of mind. So rising home prices from, let's say, increased construction costs combined with potentially higher mortgage rates, that could really strain your budget and your purchasing power. So it's very important to review your financial situation. Consider locking in a mortgage rate if you can. Explore all your financial and financing options. You should definitely keep an eye on inflation and how it could affect future borrowing costs. If you're a residential home seller, then you got to be thinking about, maybe this might be a good time to list, because rising construction costs and limited supply of new homes, that might actually push up demand for existing homes, particularly if there are fewer new homes being built. And this could result in faster sales and stronger offers. However, you're going to be wanting to be strategic and keep an eye on market dynamics for sure. Now, for residential investors, as an investor, it's very important to monitor the interest rate trends closely. If mortgage rates go, stay low or drop further, then there's going to be more demand for rental properties, which could benefit your portfolio. Now, if rates rise again and financing increases, then that might reduce, some of the demand for houses. But in the long term, I think it could actually raise more demand for rental. So that might be good if you're looking for rental properties to invest in. At the end of the day, this US 25% tariff in Canadian goods is throwing a lot of uncertainty into the mix. We've never seen it before. It's the first time. It could have potential impacts on construction costs, interest rates, and just overall market sentiment. And our market here could face some challenges in the months ahead. Whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, just staying informed, planning ahead is going to help you navigate these uncertain times. And, it's the first time that we're facing something like this, so we're all on the same boat. Please feel free to reach out to me and my team, ask any questions. We're here to help. And just make sure that you hit the button below if you found this video helpful at all. Please subscribe for more real estate updates. Drop me a comment if you have any questions about how the tariffs might affect, our market. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'm going to see you on the next video.